Hey there, reporting to you with no makeup on today on the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everybody. And I just wanted to show off this really awesome care package that I got from Shay over at Cameleon Body Art. And she sent me a whole pile of really cool stuff, a bunch of really nice looking brushes and a kabuki brush and some really sweet split cakes or blending cakes, or I know there's another name for them and I'm blanking out on what that's called. Whoops. And and Cameleon Body Art even makes its own line of soap. Lemon sorbet soap, it says, for cleaning your brushes and cleaning your body painted body. So that's a pretty neat thing. I'd love to buy these in bulk and just give them as a gift to all my models. It's a pretty cool deal. So I've got a bunch of really great colors over here that I'm dying to try out. A couple of my favorites that you've heard me talk about before, teal and celadon. And they look a little more blue here on the screen than they're more of a, a greenish teal blue than they're showing up here. But these are a couple of my favorites that I've used a lot. This is Midnight Blue that I've used before that I really love. And then a bunch of new ones. Oh, and then Wicked I love. And I used this on Skin Wars for my high fashion runway piece that I did. That piece of fabric draping was mostly this color. It's called Wicked. And then, do you remember Yara Sophia's swimsuit that I did in the Drag Queen episode? That was this awesome color by Cameleon Body Art. It's called Bollywood. It's this fabulous fuchsia magenta color. And like I said before, a lot of them come with this little plastic film on them. And I remember the first time I went to paint that swimsuit and I started using this color. It was a brand new one. And I was going, rubbing and rubbing and rubbing my brush on it like this and like this and like this and trying to activate it with water, and nothing was happening. It's because I didn't realize that. And I think it was Brittany next to me. She's like, honey, there's plastic on there. Take the plastic off. So take the plastic off. So yeah, I'm going to try out some of these really cool new colors and also show off one of my favorite techniques that I use when I'm face painting. When I'm doing bodies, I almost always use brushes. But if I'm going to do a face, even if I'm body painting and I go to do the face, I use my nice green sponges. These come as a circle, right? And I like to cut them in half because then you've got this nice edge where you can, create a sharp edge. So I use a spray bottle to get my paints wet and to get my sponge wet. So I do a little mist on the paint and a little mist on the sponge. So I'm going to mist my sponge here, and I'm going to pick like 3 or 4 colors that I want to put together here. I usually start with white, and this has got the plastic on it too. I'm going to get the plastic off here. So I start with the lightest color on one end, and then I work my way around the sponge until I've got the darkest color on the other end. So I'm going to activate my paint a little bit here with the spray bottle. And I'm going to smush my one end of my sponge into that white. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll go with my Bollywood pink next. Spray that a little bit on my paint. Doesn't take much. What's nice about using the spray bottle to activate is you've got a lot more control. Okay, so now I'm smushing that in. So I've got a little white, and then I've got a little pink, and I let them overlap. So that's going to give me a nice blend in between. And I've got this color, which is Purple Heart. Oh wow, it looks really lavender in person, but it's looking super blue here on the screen. So I don't know what you're seeing there in TV land. So now I'm going to go in starting partway into this pink here, and I'm going to start loading up the Purple Heart color. right? So we're getting this fade going on. Now I've got this really gorgeous looking color here that I can't wait to try out. It's called Ink Heart, and it's like this indigo, but it almost looks metallic. I'm not sure if it's metallic or not. Take off my plastic. Put a little water on that. Whoa. Yeah, I can't tell if that's metallic. I guess it's not. And maybe I think this is supposed to look like the color of a tattoo. Or maybe, so there we go. So I've got purple heart and ink heart. So now I can start. I always put the lighter color in the center of the face because lighter colors draw the eye. So we want to draw the eye to the center of the person's face, you know, where their eyes are. So I think I'm going to create sort of a line here. And then, so I've got that edge laid down where I want it. Now I can just sort of roll my sponge. Like that. See, now I've got all my colors and they're sort of automatically faded here. And I like to bring the paint up into the hair a little bit. You just don't have that like cut off edge. Maybe I need to take my flower out. So now I can start out here and work my way back in. And you can kind of just rock it and roll it back and forth. So this is kind of a red, white, and blue patriotic thing, except instead of red, I've got sort of a magenta color. Never really painted my face just using the monitor before. It's weird because it's like a delay. That's pretty cool. I wonder if how this kabuki brush would work to sort of buff out that edge. So those are pretty cool colors. I'll try another batch of colors here. Get a fresh sponge. I think I want to work with, I'll start with white again. Here we go. I'll start with white. And this is a color called Fleur de Lise. And it's this really cool sort of metallic, shimmery olive green. It's pretty neat. I'm going to overlap it with the white. And add some of this Wicked color. Let them overlap each other. And see how I'm really like mushing it in there. I'm not delicate about it. And then I don't know, maybe this teal out here at the end, just the far end. Yeah, a lot of times, you know, when I'm teaching, a face painter will ask me, like, how do you get your colors so opaque? Why is mine going on so sort of sheer and splotchy looking? And most of the time it's how they load the sponge. They're not digging the sponge around in the paint quite enough, and sort of working the water into the paint into like a creamy consistency. So that's usually the issue. Okay. So we're going from white to Fleur de Lise to Wicked out to teal. See how that looks. Ooh, well, that looks nice. Those are pretty colors. Well, those colors are awful pretty. Of course, I love this Wicked color. So I want to come in and maybe do a little bit of, try some line work with this Wicked. And when I'm doing line work, I use my spray bottle to activate my paints as well. Because, you know, if you've been rinsing your brushes all day in your water, in your paint water, then you've got a muddy, gray, yucky mess. And if you then dip that in to activate your paint, then you're mixing a muddy, gray, yucky mess into your paint. And you're not going to get clean color. Okay, this is totally backwards. Looking in the monitor to do this, it's so weird. But look at this beautiful color. I love this color so much. I don't know how those YouTube people do it. It's a whole new skill to get used to, trying to paint looking at yourself in the monitor instead of the mirror. Totally backwards. It's cool. Look at these beautiful colors. Okay, I got a new color I want to try. Oh, I want to see what this ink heart looks like with line work. Now, in the package of brushes she sent, I see that there's brushes that look really similar to each other, if not exactly the same. And the only difference I can see is the color of the bristles. Now, I don't know if this is their intention, but when I'm painting, I actually keep a whole different set of brushes for light colors than for dark colors, so that you know, I don't have a brush that's got, like, you know, dark green or dark blue or black that I've been using it for, and then I try to use it for pink, and no matter how good you rinse it out, you're still going to get that dark color mushing into your pink, and eventually you're just going to get muddy colors. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh wow, perfect, this is a perfect way for me to know which brushes are for dark colors and which brushes are for light colors. So I'm going to switch to this dark bristled brush and try this ink heart color on its own. See how it looks? And I'm, swirling this around until it gets the consistency of like hand lotion or conditioner, maybe. And that's when you know it's ready to work with. Any thinner than that and it's going to be too runny and not opaque enough. Wow. So this learning curve right here for you guys to watch as I figure out how to paint myself backwards in the monitor. But this ink heart color is pretty cool. Liking it. And see, now it's getting not creamy enough. It's starting to get dry. So I'm going to put a little more dab of water in there and get it to that nice creamy sort of hand lotion consistency. Well, pretty goofy swirls, but I'll get used to this. So, I'm not trying to create a real face paint design right now. I'm just trying to just test these different colors here, see how everything looks. So I've never used the Cameleon white before. I've used a lot of their colors, but I've always been a wolf white person. Once wolf white came out, I never went back. But I think this Cameleon white, part of why I liked wolf is because it could go on top of darker colors and hold its own and not disappear. But I have a feeling this white is nice and strong and can hold its own on top of these darker colors. Now I'm going to have to wash my hair after this. But yeah, look at that. The white totally holds up on top of that darkest blue. Cool. Well, looks like I have a new favorite white. Okay, if you've never tried this before, painting your own face while looking in the computer monitor instead of the mirror, it is something to try. It is weird. So, not the best face paint design, but okay, one last thing I want to try is this cool color. It's called Plum Fairy, and it's like a metallic purple. So maybe I'll try a few swirls with it, but really what I want to try and do is lips. I'm dying to paint my lips this color because it looks really awesome. Let's see. Ooh. When you see how that dark blue is mixing in with it, that's because I used my dark bristled brush on that. So I'm going to get my light bristled brush. Okay. But that is a really pretty color. Let's see how it looks on top of these teals and blues. It's a nice contrast. And a lot of times metallics aren't opaque enough, but look at this. It totally is opaque. That looks great on top of there. Okay, now I'm going to try lips. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret that I use a lot. I learned from drag queens. See how I'm leaving that center space there blank? I'm going to leave that for now. Now I can take this color and mix it with a lighter color, like this Bollywood pink. Maybe I'll get a little bit of white in it too. So I'm going to mix a little white into this Bollywood pink, with the light pink. You get that little, you can blend it with your finger. So you get that little ombre thing going on. And you can come in even with a little more white, right in the center. And now that gives you the illusion of a more full lip. So there we go. We tried out a bunch of really great colors from Cameleon Body Art. And I hope that you guys, now that you've seen what these can do, you'll do a little bit of shopping over there as well. Thank you, Shay, for the awesome care package. Next time, maybe I'll try out some of these really cool blending cakes, or split cakes, or rainbow cakes, or whatever you want to call them. And we'll try those out. Thanks, you guys, for watching. Happy 4th of July!